Hey everyone, this amazing ESO Network show is brought to you by our fine sponsor, Amazon.com. Please remember to shop Amazon for all your geeky needs, no matter what time of the year it is. All you need to do is go to esopodcast.com/ESO Amazon, or click on the Amazon banner on the ESO Network webpage to go to our e-store. It's the best way to shop and the best way to support this program, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Okay, that's enough of me babbling for now. Now on with your regular scheduled show.
Exploring the multiverse of pop culture.
This is Pod Casserole.
An Adam and JP show.
Hey, it's the Tuesday Pod Casserole.
Hey.
And welcome. I'm Jay Patrick. That is Adam.
It's a special episode today. I'm pretty pumped.
This could be, I say this, it seems like I say this a lot.
At least once a week you say it.
But I know you're a big fan.
Yeah.
This could be one of your favorites.
I've done a lot of research and just deep old digging for Power Rangers information.
In celebration of the Power Rangers live action motion picture that comes out this weekend, we'll be talking about the Power Rangers, which I got to be honest with you. Like, I will have to come from the Power Rangers as working in a retail store and experiencing that madness.
Okay.
Because I never was a huge Power Rangers fan.
Yeah.
In preparation for this, I've watched a couple of episodes, but I don't know a lot about the Power Rangers.
Right. And that was 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
The stuff you'll be talking about. So it's good to have your perspective from that. And you were there during the craze and seeing that. So we'll have fun with it.
But you were a Power Rangers fan through and through.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Even through the rough years, I stood by.
Who was your favorite Ranger?
Jason, by far.
Oh.
The original Red Ranger. He was the Cyclops of the group, and then stupid Tommy came in and Wolverined it all up. He did. It's fine, whatever. It's all good.
So Tommy became the Green Ranger?
Green and white, yeah.
And then white.
Yeah.
But he started as the red.
No, he was always – we'll talk about it in a bit.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clearing that up. Hey, I want to share something with you. We were talking on the Friday show about our experiences at the Louisville Arcade Expo, and a friend of our show, Brooklyn,
Right.
Brooklyn. She was sending me some text messages Saturday night while we were at the expo. She was watching a documentary that's streaming on Amazon. I don't have the name of the documentary in front of me, but it was about the worst movies of all time. Right. It might have been called that, the worst movies of all time. And I thought it would be fun as we go along every couple of weeks to grab one of these theater classics and share it with you. Now, I haven't seen a lot of these movies. She did mention Leonard Part 6, and I did go to the theater to watch that when it came out. I do remember Leonard Part 6.
What is up with comedic geniuses sometimes having bad movies? It just happens.
I don't know.
How does it happen?
I don't know.
I just thought.
Can I take a sidebar here?
Sure, yeah.
This is going to seem totally random, and I don't know why when you said that it reminded me of this. I have decided, and this is a decision I came to this week. I promise we'll get to the bad movies in a second. This is a decision I've come to this week. Denzel Washington is my favorite actor ever.
Really?
Hands down.
Really?
Favorite actor of all time, Denzel Washington.
Wow.
I can watch anything with that man in it.
Really?
Denzel Washington could star in a reboot of Son-in-Law as the Pauly Shore character. I would watch that movie.
Well, I would watch a reboot with Pauly Shore as the Pauly Shore character.
And it would be terrible.
No.
But I assure you, Denzel Washington could bring something to the character that you would enjoy.
Okay.
Like, we were flipping around trying to find something on television. On AMC the other night, they were showing Unstoppable. Do you remember this movie?
No.
Starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pine, and Rosario Dawson. This is a movie that I think is loosely based on a true story about a runaway train. And Denzel Washington and Chris Pine are two employees of the train company. What's the word I'm looking for?
Let's say that. Train company.
Train company?
Yeah.
It seems like there's a term that I should be using instead.
Let's use that. Train company. The railway
the
institution.
railway employees.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
And, they're on another train trying to catch up to the runaway train.
Did Soul Asylum have the soundtrack?
No.
Nailed down for that?
But
No?
it could have been. It was directed by Tony Scott
Okay.
before, he passed away.
Okay.
What
else has he done?
Tony Scott?
Yeah, it sounds like a NASCAR driver, too, from first name.
Well, it's Ridley Scott's brother.
Ah.
Yeah.
Why have I never heard of that guy?
Yeah, he's did a lot of the action adventure stuff in the 80s.
Okay.
90s. And in 2010, that might have been his last movie.
Yeah.
Was Unstoppable with Chris Pine and Denzel Washington. And Denzel Washington is great in that movie.
Yeah.
Is it a great movie? No. Is he great in that movie? Yes. Are you mesmerized every time he's on the screen? Yes. And that is the case every time I see a movie with him in it.
Yeah.
Name another Denzel Washington movie.
Well,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia,
Yeah, it's a
sure.
great movie.
Yeah. You know my thoughts on him. I'll leave it at that.
What?
It's the exact same character.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's acting as far as like just being himself on camera. There's a difference.
Like he was a couple of years ago, like we talked about this before. He was in the remake of The Equalizer.
Yeah.
Based on the 80s TV show that came out last year, the movie, or 2 years ago. The movie.
I think that's my problem with this stuff. Every single thing you say is just not memorable to me because it's just him being him.
But he's memorable in it.
I don't know if I like name all those movies. I don't know if I have seen them. I can't remember.
You ever seen Glory?
If so, I don't remember it. It's gone.
Training Day.
If so, I don't remember it.
You've never seen Training Day?
If so, I don't remember it. I know those lines.
Man on Fire.
Once again, if so, I don't remember it.
Wow.
That's what he's good, and his stuff is it's compelling when I see it in the monologues. Yeah, but I have no idea what movie that's from. It's him being himself. Whereas like a Tom Hanks, different facial hair, different haircut, different different language, different accent, different body weight.
Yeah,
but
Denzel can do that.
But he doesn't.
But he does have like a Denzel charisma.
I think that's my beef
that
with him.
he brings to the character that makes it a Denzel character.
I'm not saying Tom Hanks is my favorite, but I mean I think of him as like your standard actor that changes things up a bit. He's acting where Denzel is just being Denzel on screen.
Yeah,
and that's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
But when I was like totally into watching him in a movie about a runaway train,
and
I told my wife, I said Denzel Washington is my favorite actor of all time.
Yeah,
hands down, for years.
Wow.
Yeah. Now back to bad movies.
Back to it.
So Brooke is sending me these text messages, and she sent me one called, and I have not seen this. I'm going to go on record. I should probably watch it if I'm going to talk about it on a show.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it, and it's a Grindhouse movie from 1979 called The Crippled Masters.
It just sounds interesting right there.
Now this is this was filmed in Hong Kong. It's overdubbed in English, so I'm going to play a bit of the trailer for you, but there's not a lot of dialogue in the trailer, but here's a little bit of it.
Cut his other arm off.
Then there's a lot of this. From what I gather, Crippled Masters is about two guys. It's your typical kung fu storyline.
Okay.
You know, you have the trainer, the evil trainer called White, and he's the one that says, cut his other arm off. And he punishes one of his students by cutting his arms off. He befriends a guy who doesn't have legs. And then they train and they become kung fu masters. That's the plot.
It's like the kung fu version of See No Evil, Hear No Evil, pretty much.
Kind of. But it's
no
really...
arms, no legs, yeah?
I mean, and it's... Clearly, they hired like a paraplegic to play the guy with no legs, and the guy that, I mean, when you see the trailer, you see him cut his arms off, and it's clearly fake arms, and because he doesn't have arms, and what a strange plot for a movie.
It was a weird time back then. They could do that.
Yeah,
I mean, even years and decades before that, movies like Freaks came out, and it was kind of acceptable to show that kind of stuff. Now, not so much.
Maybe. But the Crippled Masters had such a following. There was the Crippled Masters 2 and 3.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think they have anything to do with the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like Troll 2?
But when I saw this trailer, when Brooke sent me this trailer, I can't believe this movie exists.
Crippled Masters.
It kind of makes me want to go down the road of bad movies.
Well, you should.
I want to see what else is out there.
You know there are good things out there.
When I mentioned this to you, you seem to like recognize it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 1979.
Because, I mean, in high school, oddly enough, in preparation for my film school days, I just went hardcore into bad movies. I mean, it started with Trauma. People think of Trauma as the worst out there, but Trauma is the best of the worst. There's much worse stuff than Trauma out there. They just have a whole organization of making bad movies on purpose.
That's their sole purpose.
They're not really bad. They try to do the best they can for very cheap.
That's their mission statement.
Yeah, it's tough to have a whole crew and cast and shoot and edit and put stuff out there and advertise the movie for under $30,000. It's tough.
Do they try the best they can?
For their money, yeah. for their money.
Seems like you should try harder.
For as little as they had, and they have an iconic character like the Toxic Avenger. That's tough to do.
Toxic Avenger is pretty classic.
That's tough to do.
I'll grant you that.
Yeah, I mean, for us, bare bones.
But Class of Nukem High?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's entertaining. Surf Nazis Must Die. I'll stand by them all day. Yeah. I love Nukem High. They still put those out.
Surf Nazis Must Die. I remember that.
Yeah,
I saw that in high school.
it's a good one.
So there you go. Crippled Masters. Do what you want. Go find the trailer on YouTube. And I don't even know how you'd watch this movie if you wanted to see it, honestly. I would say go down to your local rental store, but those don't exist anymore.
Not so much. By the way, we have a local in here in Middle Tennessee where we live, and one got robbed last week. Our last final physical movie rental store.
Yeah.
I think in the news a few nights ago, got robbed by gunpoint.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, who would rob a video store?
It happened. They beat the guy down and everything. It's true. They pistol whipped him. Bam. Took his
the employee at the video store?
Yeah, took his $25 in cash from the rental store.
Are you sure this isn't a story from 1992?
I promise you, this happened last week. Yeah.
Like two guys, right? I did see that story. It was two guys.
Yeah.
With guns.
Yeah. They caught one. He was 16 years old.
Yeah. Creep.
They don't even know what a video store is. They can't. Man.
He was just so intrigued.
What is this?
I've never seen one. They must have tons of money in there. So I wonder if they rent DVDs or VHS.
I think DVDs and Blu-rays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can get the old VHS. Because those are starting, you're starting to find like the...
Yeah, it's trying to make the
pop
the
up
LP
every now
come
and
back.
then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find a video rental store place.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind. I mean, VHS rental.
Right. I haven't touched a VCR in a decade. I haven't touched one.
Touch one?
Yeah. Have you touched a VCR in a decade?
Yeah.
I definitely have not.
Yeah. Within the last year.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Where and why?
Well, I found some old videotapes, and I found a VCR, and I was trying to see, and I have a program. I was trying to get record the videotape into a digital program.
Oh.
But I could never get the tracking to work.
That's what I did with the SNL star back in the day. That's funny.
With the what?
Victoria Jackson. That's why I used to go to her house
Oh,
and try to. That's what I would do.
So you have handled VCRs probably.
Yeah.
In doing that?
You're right.
Yeah.
By bringing that story up, you are correct.
Do you talk to her much anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm shooting. Yeah, I've got stuff I'm doing for a daughter soon.
Oh, okay.
That sounds creepy.
Then I'm not going to pursue that any further. You saw Logan.
I did, yes.
And
it was entertaining.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was entertaining. I'll keep it spoiler free. Entertaining to say the least, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 questions.
Okay, give me yes or no questions, and if I feel it's a spoiler answer, I won't answer it.
How final is this movie? Okay, yes or no.
We'll keep
I'll
this in
keep
mind.
it yes or no.
We'll keep that. I'll answer that. Keep
Yeah.
that in mind. We've already seen Professor X die before, and he came back, no questions asked.
Okay.
So semi-final.
Okay, but I will try to keep it yes or no.
Okay.
That wasn't a yes or no question.
Okay.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
Could these characters come back if they wanted to make them come back?
It's hard to say because, like we've said, but we've seen Professor X being blown to a million bits, and he came back without any reason to it.
But I haven't seen it. I can't spoil anything about this movie because I haven't seen it. But
Yeah.
from what I gather from the trailers, the fact that they use Johnny Cash in that first trailer, and the Johnny Cash line, it wasn't like it wasn't like an uplifting Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
You just kicked my feet,
Yeah,
by
I'm
the
sorry.
way.
That's how close we are.
Behind the scenes,
That's how close we are.
Adam just knocked the hell out of my foot. Hurt. They used the Johnny Cash cover of Hurt.
Right.
Which makes me think this movie has some finality to it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say yes.
Okay. Yes or no question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this better than Apocalypse?
Yes.
Is it better than Days of Future Past?
No.
Is it better than First Class?
Yes.
Is it better than any of the original 3 X-Men movies?
Apples and oranges. Let's say yes.
Okay. All right, that's enough with the yes or no.
Okay, that's good.
Because I do want to ask the tone of this and clearly the violence in this. You did tell me, no spoilers here, but you did tell me that you felt like that this doesn't really fit the other X-Men movies.
Not at all. Being with the R rating, and I think if this was like this from the get-go, from the first X-Men, at least the first Wolverine movie, would have made more sense. I have no problem at all with gore. I have no problem with violence or sexual activity on film. Just the fact that it was here out of nowhere, that and the language even. I don't mind an F-bomb. Nothing wrong with that. But the fact that Wolverine/Logan and Professor X themselves say 3 or 4 F-bombs every 10 minutes kind of took me out of it. Because we've known these characters for 17 years now. I've never really heard Professor X say any swear word at all. But now, after every breath, he throws an F-bomb down. It kind of took me out of it. Now, in a real world, if this kind of stuff was happening and you had these powers and encounter these people with these other powers, your language wouldn't be the best. You'd be kind of a grizzled, tough SOB.
Right.
But
Of the week?
Yeah, pretty much. But the fact it took Professor X to his 80s or 90s, or depending what timeline you follow, maybe his 100s, to even start speaking like that, it's kind of crazy to me. And Logan, the same. There's this scene in there where his vehicle breaks down, and he takes a shovel and beats the hell out of it. And
Logan does?
Yeah, and it says every profanity in the book within 10 seconds. It's just odd. I mean, he's been in crazier situations before and kept his cool, but now he's got the mouth of a sailor. I have no problem with it whatsoever. That or Gore, it's just weird that it took you out of it. It's like, oh, they have an R rating now. They can do
It seems like a different movie universe.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. X-23, how is she?
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always disliked the character, had no reason to like her. I've seen the figures, the comics, the cartoon. I've never had any interest whatsoever, but this, for once, makes me like the character.
I think, and this is just my guess here, that you will see X-23 return, and probably as an older version.
You think so?
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Yeah. I think they would. I think that's the only time you'll see X-23 that young.
Yeah.
I think the next time you see her in a movie, she'll be early 20s, mid-20s,
Yeah.
something like that.
There's no way they can, I don't know. Say I haven't seen Logan, just in general, there's no way that can be the end of Hugh Jackman's reign. It can't be. In the X-Men world, what we're doing, going by decade to decade, next up is the 90s, correct? So
Which puts them within 10 years minimum of meeting that Logan.
And every single time we've seen him since then, so why wouldn't he be there for that, just for a second?
That's a good point.
And if there's going to be a sequel after that, which I'm sure there will be, they won't stop the X-Men franchise. That will be the 2000s, which we've seen. At that point in time, they have to recast Wolverine.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I think they will recast Wolverine, and I think you will see X-23 in a future movie.
It's just odd to me. I know the film universe and comic universe are two different entities, but it's weird. We're going back to Apocalypse to have that 80s themed X-Men and not have Wolverine as part of the X-Men in the 80s. That seems wrong to me.
Yeah.
Give him some brown and orange. I want it. Nothing wrong with that.
I watched something new this past week.
What's that?
The ABC series Time After Time debuted last Sunday night. And the only reason why I knew about it is because I heard a commercial on the radio while we were in Louisville. And I was like, that's a thing? This whole thing missed me completely. It's a remake of the 1970s movie Time After Time, which is it's obviously updated. I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
I thought it was pretty good.
Think it'll last?
That I don't know because they showed like basically the two first episodes as almost like a mini movie last Sunday night, and most of that was the original movie. And it's
where does it go from here is the question. Huh?
Exactly. Now you get to a point to where things start to change a little bit, so they can serialize. They bring in characters that weren't in the movie, and different things happen, so the story can keep going. But I would say for at least the first hour, it was basically the film Time After Time.
Really?
Just reshot in 2017.
Wow.
And if you don't know this movie, the basic synopsis is H.G. Wells invents his time machine. He's showing it off to his buddies, one of them the buddies being Dr. John Stevenson, who happens to be Jack the Ripper. And then when the police come to look for John Stevenson, he steals H.G. Wells' time machine. And in the movie, ends up in the 70s, and in this, ends up in 2017. And H.G. Wells then chases him to the future to try to capture him and bring him back to, London. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know if they meant for this, but the way the character acts that they cast as, or the way that the actor acts that they cast as H.G. Wells, very Doctor Who.
Really?
Very Doctor Who.
Any kind of time traveling, skipping around timelines like that.
Any time traveling British guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Going to be like Doctor Who.
Pretty much.
But no, it's more than that. It's just his animation. It reminds me of almost like Matt Smith's Doctor. And I don't know if that was done on purpose. I don't know if this is trying to be the American Doctor Who, but they definitely have something that has that kind of tone to it. So I'm interested. I mean, I'll give it a couple more episodes because I enjoyed that first one, but I like the movie, and that's basically what it was.
Yeah,
almost shot for shot.
Really,
the movie, like in the movie when he winds up in like the H.G. Wells exhibit in a museum, that's the same thing they do in this.
That's the way they're doing it,
and the museum almost looks exactly the same as it does in the movie.
I've heard of that movie before. They're trying to recreate that. That's a weird idea behind that.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was pretty good.
We'll see if it works.
I don't know. ABC's Time After Time. And then on an all-new Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. compared to that.
Anything else you watched this week?
I think that's it. I'm excited. Once we're going to talk about for some Power Rangers, of course, Kong. I want to see some Kong. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that comes out this weekend.
Due time.
Or I guess it came out
it's
last
already-
weekend.
yeah.
It's already out.
I still haven't seen Lego Batman. I've got Lego Batman, Kong, and Rangers on my list. Finally, some good movies in theaters.
I'm excited to hear your opinion on Lego Batman.
Yeah.
Because I think you will enjoy it more than you think you
I
will.
hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Well, shall we do this week's SOB OTW?
Let's do it. Who you got?
Well, first of all, it's very easy to become the SOB OTW. You just have to basically reach out to us via one of our internet platforms.
It's all about interaction through Facebook.com/AdamandJP, on Twitter @AdamandJP. You can go to AdamandJP.com, even fill out the little contact form. And, of course, if you want, Patreon.com/Pod Casserole, and give us a message on there. Any way you want, just talk to us, and you can be one of the SOB OTWs.
If you want to pull up our Twitter or Facebook, we do have some honorable mentions that we need to do, some interactions that we got this week. But there can only be one SOB OTW. Huge podcast success, but I swear this is some sort of Mickey Mouse operation. I don't know. We're going to go to Washington State, Adam. Franklin, Washington, as a matter of fact. Cameron from Franklin, Washington reached out to us. Hey, fellas. You just finished your episode about controversial games. 2 things. I spent many hours of my 20s playing Wolfenstein and Duke Nukem.
Nice.
I think many of us did.
They're classics.
Also, how could you forget Leisure Suit Larry?
You almost put that on there.
I did.
Yeah.
Larry almost made my list.
Yeah, he did.
But
It was a last-minute cut.
it was a last-minute
You
cut.
got to save room for Gotcha and Custer's Revenge. You got to have the heavy hitters.
the Call of Duty. Love the show. Thanks for making my overnight shifts easier.
That's good.
So
That's good to hear.
I hope he works overnight.
Yeah. That would be awkward if not.
Yes, it would.
Hopefully your job is legal.
Thanks for making my drug dealing easier.
Waiting for this guy in the Kroger parking lot is getting old. Thanks for making it go by
But at least
so
I
fast.
have Pod Casserole. But Cameron, Franklin, Washington, thanks for. Wait, I wonder if that's close to Seattle.
We're in Tennessee. Everything's close to Seattle, Washington.
That's true. It's something.
It's over there
Maybe.
by.
Hey, I wonder if it's close to Walla Walla.
Just like you just said Jack the Ripper's from London. I think it was Whitechapel, which is pretty far away from London.
You're right.
Once again, it could be close. I have no idea.
Yeah, but the
I'm
movie-
guessing it's not close.
The movie is set in London.
Oh, is it really?
I think
okay,
so.
I got you.
Yeah.
So we don't,
So maybe he got around.
geography's not my strong
Then
point.
how did he die on London Bridge?
But you, anything you want to do, you can be the SOB OTW.
Did you just say that Jack the Ripper was from White Castle?
Whitechapel.
Oh. I love their little burgers.
Well, yeah. You can see through them sometimes.
But yeah, we do want to shout out to other interactions that we've had via, especially Twitter this week.
Right, yeah, a lot of podcast interactions, such as at $10 Cowboy. They talked to us about their podcast, a podcast about 2 men traversing life moments and having a stag beer while doing just that.
Oh, there you go.
They say, also, we put out some stuff about, we try to stay unpolitical on the show here, but you put out a funny little thing about Trump and Cobra Commander and Destro joining forces this week.
That was pretty funny.
And so now the Generalissimo at the Ralphinator, he sent a picture to us saying the Cobra Commander is already taking a day off to go to the lake. And there's a guy pumping his gas, and it was a
Cobra Commander mask.
Commander mask, pumping gas into his boat. That and many more just podcast promotions giving to us on Twitter.
Yeah, so reach out to us at Adam and JP on Twitter. Send us an email. You can do that. You can email directly AJP at AdamandJP, or just go to adamandjp.com, and right there on the contacts tab, you got a little form. You can send an email, and it gets right to us. And you, too, could be the SOB OTW. Go Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, so excited.
We'll head to, what planet are they from?
Well, Earth, pretty much.
We'll head to Earth.
Later on different planets, we'll do that as well.
Next.
You gotta ask yourself one question, punk.
What the hell is a cigar nerd?
Welcome to the Cigar Nerds Podcast.
It's the only show where 2 guys smoke cigars and talk about nerd culture.
Do you like movies, games, comics, sci-fi, pop culture, and beer?
Do you like science, nerd news, explosions for no apparent reason?
Then this is the show for you.
It's like being in a nerdy cigar shop, but for your ears.
Check us out at cigarnerdpodcast.com.
I'm sorry, do you just want to enjoy this?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
Wow, that is some shredding.
Yeah, it is. Here it comes. You're going to feel it. This is a newer version, I guess. That's not the original, but we'll take it.
Is that the wrong one?
That is the wrong one, but we'll take it.
Well, here's Power Rangers theme songs from 1993 to 2015.
That's going to be a collaboration.
It's the same song.
What? That's not the one. There's an original theme song on there?
That's what it said. How about top hottest female Power Rangers?
The original's got to be on there.
I mean, I just looked up Power Rangers theme song. No, this is actually the opening intro. Wow, I gotta be honest with you. That looks terrible. Starring Amy Jo Johnson. Like, do you think she got like the lead from the get-go?
Maybe so. You like her a lot, don't you?
I guess. She's the only one I know. Oh, and Jason David Frank.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
You know Bulk and Skull.
No, I don't.
What?
But I'm going to learn today.
24 years going strong, yeah.
Are they still on there?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Oh,
Okay.
What is this? What is going on? Oh, these are all the intros.
Yes, all the intros. Oh, man.
Well, they look a lot younger.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think it's just better quality.
Oh, okay.
It's better, high definition.
So take me through the. Say I've never watched Power Rangers.
Okay.
Give
brief
me
history.
Give me like a plot synopsis of what Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers. 1993 is when this started,
first
right?
one, yeah.
What this was. Now, was it a different show
It
was brought here?
Kind of. So the American actors you see in every single Power Rangers show is Americanized, for the most part shot either here or New Zealand. But the actual action scenes, anytime you see a Ranger in its suit fighting another person in the suit, is from a Japanese show called Super Sentai. From 1993 to now, it's always the way it is. And so they've taken the action scenes from Super Sentai, and brought that over here and Americanized it. It's pretty good. Have you ever heard of the Super Sentai series at all?
No.
It's what they call a tokusatsu Asian. It's kind of what that means in Japanese terms is special effects driven. So Ultraman, VR Troopers, even Godzilla is considered tokusatsu. But the show, Super Sentai from Japan. Anytime you see action, it's weird to think about that and kind of disassociate that. But anytime you see any action in a Power Ranger suit from a Power Ranger show is from Super Sentai. And they chop those scenes up from Japan. They send those over here, and we add our own American story to it and overdub that and create a story based on those fight scenes. It's kind of cool, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's different. So 1993 is the first year of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, before we go on to this, I can't think of any other show, especially a kid's show, for 24 straight seasons going strong, and who knows the end to it. So from 1993 until now, 2017, we have 24 straight seasons. How crazy is that?
So there's never been a break.
No. We'll talk
in this
about
series.
And I'll go through them kind of quickly for some of those, but every single year is a brand new Power Rangers series. Every single year.
Now, was this initially, I remember Power Rangers Mania.
Right.
Around 95, maybe?
Okay.
So it seems like it took a couple of years for it to catch on and kind of grow the audience.
I liked it first off, but it changed as it went on, and you could tell a little higher quality. It was a small thing at first, but once the first, second season had picked up, it was a lot more money invested in it, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is the general plot of how do these high school kids
Yeah.
become Power Rangers?
So imagine a wizard comes to Earth. His name is Zordon. His assistant.
Is that the hologram head?
That's the new
Okay.
Bryan Cranston, the new movie. It's going to be Bryan Cranston.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
Zordon.
yeah.
So his robot.
See, I do know some.
His robot assistant Alpha 5, which is going to be what's his name? The actor Bill Hader.
Okay.
That's Alpha 5. I always want to say Johnny 5 every time. He's the robot assistant. There's an evil entity named Rita Repulsa, and her helpers come on Earth to take over the world. So Zordon gives the power of the Power Rangers to 5 teenagers. And he picks those randomly, the ones that are the best equipped in the martial arts in Angel Grove, California, I believe, which is where the headquarters is.
So with that character specifically,
Yeah.
Rita Repulsa,
Yeah.
it appears that from the series, they've gone from a traditional Asian look for her to
Which,
a
once
more
again, that was all from the Asian show,
right
Super Sentai.
to a more sci-fi.
Yeah.
look
It's
for
almost
that
more
character.
Of a, it's weird. It's an odd. It's a weird look in this new
Almost a
movie.
Poison Ivy look.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
an all-engulfed, all-inclusive costume that that lives and breathes on. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But it seems like the suit is more of a part of her. Well, like you said, the older version was an Asian, huge headpiece and just almost weird makeup and a staff. A little bit different.
So one day these high school kids get powers.
Yeah. So Zordon gets them and sees them. It's kind of like a Green Lantern thing. He sees them for their fighting abilities, but also for their good nature and their willpower. So grabs
Right.
these 5 teenagers and makes them the first official Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and they all have their own actual Zords, kind of beasts and things they can transform into.
So where does the Mighty Morphin come from?
Because they morph. When they
Oh,
are
okay.
normal teenagers, they have almost these fancy belt buckles. Think of it as a belt buckle.
I'm familiar with
and
their
the
belt
classic
buckles.
Morphin scene. You hold them out
I
front.
know that scene.
And you scream, "It's Morphin Time." This is when you hit the Prince Adam, I have the power. This is when you hit the Incredible Hulk is pissed off. This is when you
Shazam.
have Shazam. This is when you have the Scott is pissed off in the basketball court and becomes a werewolf. It's that moment
From Teen Wolf, for
of
those
the,
who don't know.
of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that's why I love it so much. The
So
transformation.
It's clobbering time.
So the
It's Morphin time.
Yeah. The first 5, you have Jason is the Red Ranger, Trini is the Yellow Ranger, Kimberly is the Pink Ranger, Billy is the Blue, and Zach is the Black Ranger, and Tommy Oliver comes to be the Green/White Ranger. I won't go through every cast member and every person because we have hundreds of.
But it was
Rangers
that
at the time.
original crew for the first how many years?
That line there is about a year and a half. After about
Yeah.
the middle of season 2 or season 3, new ones come in. Things happen.
So, now the first thing that stuck out to me about the Power Rangers, and this
Yeah.
goes back to when Power Rangers was, well, I guess it's still insanely popular. Thus, a movie this weekend.
Right.
It seemed like the placing of, like they wanted a diverse cast, but at the same time, that diverse cast seemed a bit stereotypical.
You think so?
Well, the black guy was the Black Ranger.
Yeah.
And the Asian girl was the Yellow Ranger.
Right.
Which to me seems a bit racist. But I'm sure it wasn't intentional.
I think
I'm sure it wasn't intentional.
I kind of laugh at that, but at the same time, I think it's looking kind of deep. That's like saying the girl is the Pink Ranger's sexist. Like, why can't the guy be pink? Well, it's a girl, so she should be pink.
Right.
It's the same vein as that. No one says it's sexist because she's a girl and she's pink, you know?
Yeah.
Same idea.
So now I do have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that all the fighting stuff came from this original Japanese series.
Yeah.
So in the Japanese series, there were Power Rangers.
Right, yeah. Well, they're not called that. It's the Super Sentai series. It's all very different. Yeah.
But you had a yellow, green,
Right, yes, yeah.
pink,
Yeah.
Black
Blue, yeah.
Ranger. Or not Ranger, but characters.
Right.
And so they just made them, they called them Power Rangers
Yeah.
in the Americanized
Right.
version. And what was the name of the company that did this?
Saban,
Okay.
Saban, had that from 1993 until 2001. We'll talk about a kind of a change in production. But Saban is who brought it out. And it's odd enough, they've done some things before. And one of the first series they did was an animated show from the 80s that if you want to hear more about that, I think they may talk about that on Collection Connection soon. And that was called Jason the Wheel something.
Jason the Wheel Warriors.
There we go. So, yeah, Saban started on that and goes to the Power Rangers later on. And so season 1 through 3 is just called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And after that is when things get kind of crazy.
But this was probably, this was the cast that
Yeah.
made this huge.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, we're talking like a cultural phenomenon.
It was huge, yeah. I mean, I was obsessed with Power Rangers.
A
at that
lot
age.
of kids at that time were.
Yeah.
And no joke, like I remember, it might have not been, it wasn't 93, but it was probably like 94 or 95. 'Cause I remember the first like retail item were, I guess they were probably 12-inch
Uh-huh.
figures that came in a triangular box, which was different than any other figure that you could find.
Right.
This was an actual triangular box that had the Power Rangers figures in them, and they were tall. I don't know if they were 12, but they were definitely 10 or 11.
Huh.
And we could not keep those in stock.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we would get a couple of boxes in, and they would be gone within an hour. And you get a couple of more. I mean, you could not keep that first run of Power Ranger figures in stock. And then the second thing I remember is that fall, they put out the official Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Halloween costumes that were kind of like a nylon, costume with a plastic helmet. And we couldn't keep those in stock.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how many. There must have been thousands of kids dressed as Power Rangers that Halloween.
You can't deny the design of the costume's pretty cool. Like, you see that at a convention, you see it in real life.
I'm not anti-Power Rangers in any way. I just don't know much about it.
I think most people, when they hear that, it is kind of either A, they liked it as a kid and now look down upon it, or B, they never liked it from the get-go.
Right.
But when you see that in real life, in true form at a convention, a full 6-foot-tall male in the full Power Rangers outfit, it's pretty awesome.
Right.
It's cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we have this. I mean, and I think that's probably blew up bigger than they anticipated.
Oh yeah,
especially
for sure.
considering they were taking cuts from a Japanese series and then putting some American kids around that.
Exactly. When you kind of do the splicing, and less than a decade later, Disney's knocking on your door to buy that property.
Right.
You've done something right.
So the first 3 seasons, they're huge.
Right.
And then what happens after season 3?
So that goes from 93 to 96, and between that, in 1995, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. The first ever theatrical release.
Theatrical. Yeah.
Oddly enough, this was not tied into the series whatsoever. We have a new villain named Ivan Ooze comes out of a freak accident at a construction site. And he comes out, and if you haven't seen that, it's not my favorite. I like the shows much more than the actual movie itself. But in 1996, after that movie happens, after the first series of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers winds up, we have a new villain come around. And first off, Rita's father, Master Vile, comes in. And he thinks that Rita, as a villain, isn't doing her job. And
you're not evil enough.
Long story short, in this new series, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, Master Vile changes all the teenagers, transforms them into small children. Therefore, they can't battle the evil people and use their Power Rangers' power. So Zordon, knowing this, summons his proteges from the water Earth, or the water planet called Aquitar. And these aliens come in and take over the mantle of the Earth Power Rangers, while the teenagers find a way to get themselves back to the normal age.
So they're the same kids. They're just a lot younger.
Same
characters.
No, the kids aren't Rangers anymore. Zordon goes to a different planet. His protege is on the Aquitar planet.
Oh, okay.
It's a very aquatic. They have gills, the new Rangers do, and they come over from that planet to help Earth, while the actual Power Rangers, as children, find a way to become teenagers once again.
And this is Alien Rangers.
Yeah.
This was 1996.
1996, yeah.
So what do you think about this?
I love it.
This
I like
twist.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for the first time in 3 or 4 seasons, we see a brand new look of Rangers. It's kind of cool. I mean, it doesn't have the appeal of the Rangers outside of their suits, because they're Aquatarians with gills and all that. But
right.
It's fun. That's some bad makeup. If you want
some damn fish.
If you want some good laughs, go watch Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, because you see even the female Aquatarian Rangers still have, she still has a ponytail, but it's through Star Trek style gill makeup, but she's got a ponytail in the back of it.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah.
So I thought they were always just Rangers.
No. So that happened in 96. Also in 96, we have Power Rangers Zeo. In the year of 96, like I said, the Rangers must use the power of the Zeo Crystal to become even more powerful. The Zeo Crystal is what changed them back to their proper age in the first place.
So this is all within one season of the series?
1 year. So there are 2 series. You have Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, the last time they used the Mighty Morphin name. And the same year, you go to a different series, Power Rangers Zeo.
Okay.
Which is, they're short runs. I believe Alien Rangers had 10 episodes, and I believe Zeo had just as many.
So now we get the Rangers that we know and love come back.
They came back.
These are the original actors to come back to do this?
Yeah, for the most part. Once again, after this, we're going to have hundreds of Rangers throughout the times here. Then we have our second movie in 1997, Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. It did all right. Not as big as the first film, but this is actually a tie into, later on in the same year, the series Power Rangers Turbo. We have a new villain this time around, intergalactic pirate Divatox is her name. Zordon gives the Rangers their new Turbo Ranger powers to fight her. We get 4 new Rangers now. It's a big shakeup. We have TJ, Carlos, Ashley, and Cassie. And oddly enough, the Phantom Ranger appears in Power Rangers Turbo from 97.
Is it Tommy?
No, that was earlier on. So are you questioning how Tommy worked? Is that
I don't know
can
how
we go back to that.
Because I know like he was the Green Ranger,
Right.
and then he was the White Ranger.
So he's the Green Ranger. He's first created. So Rita Repulsa sees, this is back on 93's Morphin Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin.
Sorry.
You're good. So Rita sees it's the domination, destruction that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, these little teenagers, are doing to her evil crew. So she decides to take another person from the same area. And so when you first see Tommy, he's fighting against Jason, the Red Ranger, in a local martial arts tournament. And Tommy's
Karate Kid style.
Yeah, Tommy's kind of like at the time. He's got a ponytail. He's a little more edgy. He's kind of
smokes.
He's kind of like the Johnny.
He's got a tattoo
of the Karate Kid world. Some would say Johnny is the Karate Kid and Daniel is the villain.
He steals his dad's dirty magazines.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So she sees Tommy from up above,
right,
up in the moon, and she decides to give Tommy his own Power Rangers powers. And she takes him and gives him the power of the Green Ranger. And he himself has all the power combined of every single one of the Rangers there. Through willpower and grace, they take down Tommy the Green Ranger. And long story short, Zordon kind of rebuilds him and recreates him as the stronger White Ranger and lets him join the Power Rangers themselves after he's broken free of Rita's reign. And then he becomes the new leader of the Power Rangers. Like I said a while ago, I mean, Jason was the original leader as the Red Ranger, and Tommy took his spot. He was Wolverine to a Cyclops.
Oh, wow.
That makes me mad.
Had to be tough.
That's why
I bet there was some tension.
But Tommy's a big player.
So now to go back to 1997,
Yeah,
and you were talking about Power Ranger Turbo, because the reason why I said that is because you said there's a Phantom Ranger, which that name, I don't know, but lead me to believe that when you find out who the Phantom Ranger is, it's probably somebody you already know.
I believe so. I think that Phantom Ranger was, I believe it may have been an AI entity. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Later on, you do have big reveals of other Rangers coming back, and that's what's kind of cool being a 24-year-long series. You can have Rangers leave and come back and have a reveal of it. But I could be wrong. I haven't watched Power Rangers Turbo too often or too much. But I think the Phantom Ranger, just by visuals, looks kind of like a robot or something.
Right.
I could be totally wrong. I'm going to have to check on that. Can we go back, once again, just a few more years to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? We skipped a part because they thought this would be a 3-year series. You have season 1, 2, and 3 of Mighty Morphin. But after a while, they want to keep it going, but the actors, either contracts ran out or they don't want to play in this cheesy-ass show anymore. Mm-hmm. So around 95, 96, we had our first cast change. And so Jason, Zach, and Trini leave, and new people come in, replaced by Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. The reason Jason, Zach, and Trini leave, they went to go to a conference in Switzerland, a youth conference in Switzerland. That's how they
never came back.
That's how they wrote them out. A youth conference in Switzerland. That's what you do.
Well, it happens. For a whole year they were gone?
Forever. I mean, for a whole time. So we talk about Turbo. We wrap that up. The year after that, we have 1998's Power Rangers in Space.
Like pigs in space?
Pretty much. So Divatox, the villain from before, has demolished the Power Rangers headquarters. So the battle is then taken to space. And oddly enough, in 1998, this was going to be the end of a 6-year continuous plot. They thought this would be the end of the whole Power Rangers series, but Power Rangers in Space from 1998 was so popular, they continued the franchise well after.
My question is, by this point, do they still have footage from the original Japanese series?
So this show, the Super Sentai show, it's longer lasting than Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
So to this day, even in 2017, they're using new footage from that show that's still happening.
That's crazy.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And so they're both feeding off of each other.
They're like mirror shows.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Wow. I wonder if they do that, like if they ever use Power Rangers stuff on the other show.
I don't know. I wouldn't think so, because the stuff we shoot is all American actors with dialogue, and that wouldn't be too helpful, I guess. But their stuff is clearly just amazing martial arts action that we can overdub over, and it's funny. Yeah. What's weird about that is usually they do pick a martial arts heavy actor to play in the suit. Mm-hmm. Like Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver, he doesn't really do any martial arts in the show for the most part, but he's a black belt, well trained.
That's crazy.
Weird, huh? That's all for show.
You just have to know how to stand.
It's all for show. So after 1998, that was supposed to be the end of the series, but it was so popular in space, they had to keep it going. So they bring back in 1999 Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. This is where things get weird. If you watch this at all, it has a very Star Trek feel to it.
Now, what company is producing this at
Still
this point?
Saban.
It's Still Saban.
Still Saban,
okay.
Yeah. In Lost Galaxy, the governments of the Earth decide to send out an experimental space colony to find new planets, and this ship was called the Terra Venture. This sounds like Star Trek, right?
It really does.
I mean, please go on Netflix, watch the first episode of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, and you'll think you're watching Star Trek. It's the weirdest thing. There are swords involved, like Excalibur and King Arthur, and it's just a weird time. We'll kind of cruise through here for a bit. We have some Power Rangers filler. In 2000, we have Lightspeed Rescue. In 2001, we have
It's crazy that every season is a new name.
Every single year, different storyline, different name. In 2001, we have Power Rangers Time Force. And in 2002, we have Power Rangers Wild Force. And this is whenever the Saban stuff kind of gets bought by Disney. Around 2001, 2002 is when they get bought by Disney. And to me, this is a big, big downfall in the quality of the Power Rangers name, logo, and brand. Oddly enough, it's weird. You think if Disney bought something, they'll make it much better. But
like a Star Wars movie.
Exactly, yeah. With the idea of a Power Rangers, for some reason, it was just, I don't know if it was they're trying to go on the old name of it and didn't want to put more into it.
Right.
There was a rough spot here. So in 2002, we have Power Rangers Wild Force. I'm going to read you the synopsis for this series and this season here.
Okay.
And see whenever Disney takes over how you think it how it fared. So Jungle Man Cole Evans, Air Force pilot Taylor Earhart, would-be Pro Bowler Max Cooper, florist Danny Delgado, and martial artist Alyssa in relay are chosen by Princess Shayla of the floating island in Amaria to be the Wild Force Power Rangers to fight the evil orgs.
Wow.
This year was the last season to be filmed in the United States. And like I said, around this time, Saban was sold to Disney, still kind of having the same people involved, but they were called BVS Entertainment, which makes me think Batman v Superman.
Batman v Superman, yeah.
So for a while, we have BVS Entertainment behind Power Rangers. If you want to chime in here,
I am being educated in the way of the Power Rangers, and I will ask questions as we go along.
In 2003, under the BVS umbrella, we have Power Rangers Ninja Storm, kind of a throwaway season if you ask me and most people. In 2004, we have Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Oddly enough, Dr. Tommy Oliver once again becomes a Ranger in 2004.
Now that's Tommy.
Big Tommy.
The Green Ranger.
Big Tom.
He's back.
He's back.
Now, is this
He's
the
a doctor
first?
at this point.
Is this the first of the original cast to come back?
I believe.
And he's still a Ranger?
Well, he became a Ranger again. I think, in 2004 he was, yeah. So I believe in the late 90s, I think Jason came back in the Red Ranger episode. It's a lot of coming and going, really.
Yeah.
In 2005, we have Power Rangers SPD.
Silent.
But deadly.
But deadly.
In the year 2025, the Space Patrol Delta police force protects the galaxy from the Trubian Empire's forces, and they take on the mantle of the Power Rangers force.
So now we've completely gotten away from
Once again, this is Disney time, man. This is Disney.
This is like the high school kids that are given powers to protect the Earth.
Yeah, which is cool. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
But then you have futuristic in the near future, 2025, and this series here, the Earth is like the hub and the safe place of everyone in the galaxy to come and be safe. But you have to have that ultimate police patrol, space patrol, Delta force. I mean, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And the odd thing is, if you read these synopsis and the names and the plots and the galaxies and timelines, you think this is a show for 12-year-olds and below? That's tough, man. Like, even doing research and reading the names and locations, I'm confused.
But just think about all the toys they can create.
I know.
Every year.
Yeah, I agree.
Every year. It's
agree,
a whole new line of toys.
Exactly.
Like, this is so much bigger than G.I. Joe ever was.
Yeah, I mean, like it or not, it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure as far as money it's brought in and hours of actual media put to tape or to disc, it's amazing.
This might be the biggest kids' afternoon show of all time.
Really? We're only on 2005. We still have 12 more years to go.
Let me shut up.
In 2006, Power Rangers Mystic Force happens. In 2007, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. In 2008, Power Rangers Jungle Fury. In 2009, Power Rangers RPM. All under Disney. These are the throwaway years, if you ask me.
Wow. So Disney owned them for quite some time.
Yeah, between 2001 and 2010. So in 2010, Saban buys the rights back and creates their own logo and emblem once again, and they re-edited shows of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So 2010 was nothing new, but they re-showed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with re-edits to it.
Like the original Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
Oh.
So even though there was nothing brand new, Saban buys it back and starts from the ground up, gets a new cast, new production
So what was
team.
the editing about?
I'm not sure, honestly. I can't. I have no memory of seeing those, and I've never seen what that's about.
Maybe
but
cleaning up the action a little bit, maybe something like that.
or I'm sure back then the commercial times were shorter, and we have more commercial times.
right.
So I don't know if they took out some of the talk and it's more straight up action.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So once Saban takes it back in 2011, we come back with Power Rangers Samurai. And can I tell you, this is a badass series?
Really?
Power Rangers Samurai is awesome. As a 32-year-old man, Power Rangers Samurai is awesome. The good stories are back. The action's back. Do yourself a favor. Go on Netflix right now. Watch Power Rangers Samurai Season 1 or Episode 1. Give it 10 minutes and tell me you're not entertained by what you've seen.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Now, who's the bad guy now in this one?
That's a good question. Every year it's different. So with 24 seasons, I get mixed up.
Yeah.
But it's good.
But keep going, and then I've got some questions.
Also in 2011, with the Power Rangers Samurai, the theme song returns. It's back, baby.
Go Power Rangers.
The original is back.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a cool samurai feel to it. In 2012, we have Power Rangers Super Samurai. In 2013, we have Power Rangers Mega Force. In 2014, Power Rangers Super Mega Force. You get a kind of a theme here.
Yeah.
In Power Rangers 2015, we have Dino Charge. So, of course, in 2016,
Dino
with
Supercharge.
Super Dino Charge. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then in 2017, what we have currently is Power Rangers Ninja Steel, where the Power Rangers are protecting an item called the Spirit Crystal from the forces of Galvanox, the champion of the universe's most popular intergalactic game show, who wants the crystal, which contains 6 magical ninja power throwing stars to become invincible. Which, to me, when I hear that plot, I think of Thanos and the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
So how is Ninja Steel? Is it good?
I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, honestly. And here we are in middle of 2017 with a new Power Rangers movie. That's your brief synopsis. You saw I didn't go very in-depth at all with those, but that's your brief synopsis of the Power Rangers timeline.
Now, as we get ready to watch this movie,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that these are going to be the names of the original Rangers, probably.
Because I haven't looked into that too much. I want to keep some secrets.
Right.
But I think so.
But it seems like this is going back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Right, yeah, I think so. You have Zordon, you have Alpha 5, you have all those main characters. Rita Repulsa's back. So I guess the teenagers are the same?
So what are some of the memorable villains that you remember through the run of Power Rangers?
Of course, you have Goldar, which I'm sure you've seen him. He is basically Rita's right-hand man. Kind of a wolf-dog mix. He's blue with gold armor and wings and has the headpiece. He's pretty awesome. We didn't talk about them yet, but Bulk and Skull.
Yeah.
So
you said they've been on for every season.
Every single season, yeah. They're the original villains of the Power Rangers. They're just earthly local bullies, pretty much. Basically, you're Abbott and Costello, you're Oliver and Hardy, one fat, one skinny.
How old are they now?
And they've got to be in their late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
But they're still, Bulk, as of right now, I believe, is a limo rider. Limo driver. And Skull comes back, and they eye each other up and down, and, man, you've changed.
So they've been harassing the Power Rangers for almost 30 years.
Well, they went through different things. For a while they were their bullies. For a while they were on their side. For a while they would, while the Power Rangers were in space, Bulk and Skull were on Earth, and the cafe as comedic relief. Sometimes they would be stowaways and go to space themselves.
Yeah.
It really depended.
So do you think they will be characters in this movie?
I hope so. I really do. I really hope so.
Do you think there'll be Easter eggs for longtime Power Rangers fans in this movie?
I really hope so. Speaking of Lord Zed as well. Zed is a main villain. After Rita happens,
is he
her higher up.
the one that looks like a walking, talking skull?
Pretty much. Yeah. He's got Lord Zed's like you see. It's like a body without skin on it. He's
That's what I mean.
Red muscle.
That's what I meant.
Later
muscle.
on, you see.
I said skull. I meant muscle.
Well, there is Rito Repulso, which is Rita Repulsa's brother, and he's more of a walking skeleton. He's got like a skull face, but. Yeah, and then you have Finster, who's the guy that... And what's cool about the Power Rangers, if you have no idea about it, for the most part, at least the very beginning of the Mighty Morphin series, it's almost a Monster of the Week deal. You have Rita Repulsa up there, and she'll bring down a monster to take on the Power Rangers each week. And they, of course, can't defeat it. The monster will grow. They must grow and bring their Zords in. And it's almost a kind of like
It's very Voltron.
Exactly. They
very Voltron.
come together for a Voltron feel to it. So
yeah.
Many characters, many villains, many heroes, but you can't deny. That's a big series.
You can't deny the power of the Power Rangers.
The
power of the Rangers.
I'm not saying which one I like more, but I would imagine in general the Power Rangers, the name itself and the brand is brought in more than any kids franchise ever. Honestly, can you think of one? We say G.I. Joe, but really, that's probably nothing compared to
You
Power
mean like
Rangers.
that afternoon type?
Yeah,
you don't mean like
kids show in
you
general.
don't mean like compared to Mickey Mouse or something like that.
Oh right, yeah, that's like
Disney,
as far as afternoon, like an actual.
Oh, I would say it's probably the biggest success of all time.
Yeah.
And it was syndicated through Fox affiliates originally.
Yeah.
For a long time. And now it's on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, because it went to Disney for a while, and I believe ABC showed some of that, and now it's on just Nickelodeon.
Yeah. And when you had the original Power Rangers movies come out, it was done by the same company.
Right, yeah.
But this movie is almost like a reboot of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the current series.
I'm very curious.
I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I don't believe so. It's odd to see the normal teenagers without their suits on, leaping miles at a it's weird. I'm curious.
Yeah, because
in the show they were normal teenagers without their suits. Not until they morphed into the Power Rangers were they awesome.
Right. I'm sure on the show now it's still pretty, it's pretty lighthearted action.
Yeah.
It seems like, and I don't want to say because we overuse this, but it seems like this Power Rangers is a little darker, maybe. The movie, like a little more realistic, perhaps.
I think so. Because they know the pinnacle of that series was 25 years ago,
right?
24 years ago. So they know the people now.
That's what they're trying to recreate. That's what they're trying to tap into.
Yeah, I was around 10 years old and I was obsessed with it. I'm now in my almost mid-30s. I think at the same time, I think people my age may have kids that were my age when I first saw that. So I think they'll go for both.
Yeah.
They have no trailer previews of Tommy, the green/White Ranger in there, but I would bet anything that either a post-credit scene or just a small tease of him coming soon. We'll see what happens. As long as it doesn't flop like last year's Ghostbusters, we'll have a sequel to it.
That's true.
Pretty
Which,
much,
I mean, here's the thing. It's a pretty safe bet.
maybe.
It
seems like it's a big budget for it, though. That's the problem.
Well, it's probably the largest budget a Power Rangers movie's ever had.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's, a huge budget to the point to where they can make their money back pretty fast. And if they go over that, then you got a new franchise now.
Yeah.
You've got a rebooted Power Rangers movie, but it will be separate from the TV show.
Yeah.
Which I guess, like you said, it didn't have anything to do with it, but it was the actors from the TV show.
Right, yeah,
That original Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
And even the 97 sequel.
Yeah.
Which was tied directly to the TV show.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see.
I'm just curious how this is going to affect the show. I mean, every once we had a long, over a quarter-century long show going on. In the middle of that, you throw a movie and it's a reboot.
Yeah.
Can you reboot on top of the timeline that's continuously going? How does that work?
I guess.
Imagine right now, like if The Simpsons are still going as a cartoon series, but they have a reboot movie right now of The Simpsons. Bam. Would that affect the show, the viewership of the show? Would people want more of the reboot themes in the show itself currently? I'm curious how it's going to work out.
No, it's
Because they're
interesting.
still pulling things from Super Sentai in Japan. So if this movie takes off, would they want more American themed, CGI heavy stuff like that? I don't know.
And will that be in this movie? I think they'll probably do effects just for this movie.
Yeah, right.
You're not going to get the cut
Which is
stuff.
which is what I like about the
Right.
show. It's even it may look terrible and cheesy, but it's kind of it's fun to see that kind of real effects to it.
Bryan Cranston's in it?
He's Zordon. He's their leader pretty much, like their wizard leader.
Yeah, and who's Rita Repulsa?
What's her name? Elizabeth Smart? Is that
Yeah,
her name? Yeah. Is that her name?
No,
Elizabeth-
not Elizabeth Smart. She was the girl that was kidnapped.
Oh yeah. Who's Amy Smart? That's a different one.
That's
Let me
Rat
look her
Race.
up because I know her name.
Elizabeth was in
Not Berkeley.
Oh, what is her last name? She was in the comedies, early 2000s. What is her name? It's on the
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks. Thank you.
Elizabeth Smart was the kidnappee.
Yeah.
It just I don't want to be that guy, but it looks so different. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you think about the uniforms now?
I don't like them.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I don't like her look. I mean, how do you get?
I don't like your look.
I mean, we all know the old Rita Repulsa look. How do you go from that to what she's wearing now?
25 years.
But it's not even. I mean, there's no same themes to it. She's much more. I mean, she's showing cleavage. She's got like green armor. It's just it's so different. Some say she has the green armor, which she will give to the Green Ranger later on, because she does in the series creates the Green Ranger Tommy.
Interesting.
So it's possible. You never know.
I wonder who did the writing on this. I wonder if anybody from the show
I don't know.
wrote on the
Not sure.
movie. And I doubt it.
Yeah.
Probably not.
But I can't think of a more dominant kid show, really.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't know, I mean, until recently that they're still going on and that for that long. But yeah, every single year was a new series.
That's I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just really think it's.
I remember.
weird
I thought it was still Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, really?
Honestly,
that stopped at 96. That
See,
stopped
I haven't been up on my Power Rangers in 20 years.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know.
I really
I'm
found
just
out.
walking around. Love them Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Nah.
Eh, do you? Yeah, they're my favorite.
I keep harking on that, but I think it's odd that Disney took it on and almost ruined it in a way. It's just I can't think of any other time that happened.
Disney, you ruined
I
it.
mean, really. I'm just. It's. I think they knew that because they sold it back to Saban and let them rebuild it. Who knows? Maybe Saban is secretly owned by Disney and they just kind of don't have the name to it. Let them have more creative control.
Why do you love the Power Rangers so much?
Like I said, I mean,
The action stuff?
not just that, but even like I didn't even notice it until I was speaking of it when I talked about the first Morphin of it. It's the Shazam, the Incredible Hulk, the Teen Wolf, just the transforming of you can be this little weakly Earthling, and you with special powers can take on anything in the world.
You can
think
beat
about it.
Rita Repulsa.
Bruce Banner, Scott, the basketball player,
Yeah.
Billy Batson, Jason, and anybody, if you have a certain willpower, can become something greater than you are. That's a great story.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see how this movie does this weekend.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts about the Power Rangers?
That's about. I'm just really
Not just the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how much it will make. I think. I don't know if I had to guess. Do you think if we go in there, what's the majority? What's the average age of people that will A, see this movie, or B, like it?
Dude, what's it rated?
That's a good question. Is it PG-13?
Probably PG-13.
But honestly, I mean, if the original series was on today, it'd probably be maybe 13.
Yeah.
It's got some
TV
themes
13.
And a lot of violence. It's
Was
straight
there a
violence.
very special episode of Power Rangers?
Maybe so. Do you remember when it first came out, though? Even as a kid, I remember parents being mad about the violence it would show.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a Japanese kung fu thing.
And now it's cartoonish.
I mean,
when
pro
you watch it.
wrestling in the 60s would have blood matches. I mean, Texas death matches.
Oh, in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
First blood matches.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, I am curious to see what the reception of this is. And to answer your question, it could be a wide range of people in the theater.
Right.
Because you are talking about a movie
Yeah.
that's been on for
23 years.
quarter of a century.
Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Quarter of a century.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
Power Rangers have been around.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah. Every single year it's rebranded and used.
Wow, that's
and so
crazy.
somewhere, somehow, it's being picked up.
Are you going to see it opening weekend?
I would like to, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a wife movie.
Probably
I
not.
don't think she could take my geeking out. My fist bump.
What is wrong with you?
Because I know they're going to take this Jason. They're going to Cyclops him so hard. If Tommy comes in.
You think so?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be so pissed about that.
Oh, well.
That's what made me mad about it back then. I was a huge Jason fan, and Tommy comes in shaking his long ponytail.
Hey, look at me, girls. I don't know if that's what
I
he
have.
said.
I mean, and I was embarrassed about it. I even showed one of my wedding slideshow, I believe, or around that. But I was a Power Ranger fan for much longer than I should have been. Like 12th, 13th birthday, it was not cool to like Power Rangers anymore.
But you still did?
My birthday cake was full of Power Rangers.
Well, that's fine.
I'm fine with it. I don't care. Look at me.
I love the Power Rangers. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm out there. I'm loving it.
Not a hater.
I'm sorry, and you said the Red Ranger was your favorite.
Jason,
like
yeah.
the original Red Ranger.
Original, yeah.
Now, they keep with the same color schemes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you always have like the red,
Yeah.
green,
Yeah.
blue.
Yep.
Maybe not green.
Yeah. He's in there
Red,
sometimes.
yellow, black, blue,
Pink. Yep.
pink.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with.
Five colors.
Man, this Power Ranger universe may be just as extensive as other universes that we're into.
I'm really, when I did this research, I'm not joking when I say I can't imagine keeping up with all of it. There's someone out there that from season 1 to season now is still into it.
that knows Power Rangers continuity.
And good Lord, I'm telling you, just go, if you have 30 minutes, go do some research, give it 10 minutes, and you'll see how deep this goes with different planets and galaxies and names and villains and timelines. It's crazy, man. Like, I think of myself as pretty up to that stuff on sci-fi and pop culture, but the Power Ranger stuff borderline confused me for a bit.
Yeah.
Not going to lie about it.
Well, let us know who your favorite Ranger is.
Yeah.
You can tweet us at AdamandJP or shoot us an email, ajp@adamandjp.com. Before we go today, I want you showed me this, and this has been one of my favorite things this whole week. In a week of a lot of things happening, this has been like in my top 3. Please, without spoiling,
Okay, yeah.
describe the O'Reilly's thing.
Oh, yeah. So go to, I don't know the actual website. I guess I could give it to you, but Google yourself.
It's O'Reilly's
Auto Parts.
Autoparts.com,
Is
I
that
think.
what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so go on there, and I've forgotten the actual code. It's been it's a few days. What is the code?
Oh, part number?
Yeah, what's the part number?
121G.
That's what it was.
'Cause
So
when
go,
you
that right. Yeah,
Yeah.
go to the O'Reilly'sAutoParts.com or the actual O'Reilly's Auto Parts website. Go to the parts lookup and look up
The search bar at the
yeah,
top.
just look at the search. Yeah, item number 121G.
Uh-huh.
And see what comes up there. And,
You will not be disappointed.
No.
No.
It's pretty awesome.
I want to own part number 121G.
Right. I saw that and I'm like, wow, he's got to see this. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I love the name. Like, yeah.
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 And
Well,
the
I'll
description-
just stop there.
yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it.
121G on the O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Do it.
Yeah. We have hit feet the entire episode. by the
I know
way.
it's different.
I'm too relaxed.
Is that what's going on?
I think so.
My item comes in a few weeks from Syria, or Libya, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delayed a little bit.
I was sad that we couldn't get 2-day delivery
Yeah, pretty much.
from O'Reilly's Auto Parts for part number 121G.
Yeah, don't forget it.
From, was it EB Enterprises?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. The name of the company.
Yeah.
I think that was the name of it. That what it is. That
Yeah.
is it.
That's great.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
We'll be back Friday.
Yeah.
What are we talking about Friday? Do we know?
Well, you never know until the day of.
Yeah, we do know before the day. The day before the day of.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, do some social media thing. Be the SOBOTW. Let us know that you want to be that.
Yeah, go see Power Rangers and let us know what you think about that. We'll read your stuff on the air.
Yeah,
maybe.
tell us your Logan thoughts if
Yeah.
you've seen that. Just interact with us. Tell us we suck. I don't care.
That's fine. Let me
I've
read
been
that.
told that my whole
We'll
life.
be an actual SOBOTW then.
Yeah.
Yeah. SOB.
Yeah, you can do all that at adamandjp.com. Also on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, always at Adam and JP. And don't forget, patreon.com/podcastroll. You can become a patron yourself for as little as $1 a month. Archives, videos, fun stuff, fun things in there. And if you pay more than $1 a month, you may get some special things shipped in the mail to you.
That's true. And next week, we'll be recording our next Patreon exclusive episode.
Right.
So
Pretty awesome.
get on now so you don't miss out on that.
Do it.
I'm Jay Patrick. That's Adam.
Eat your Pod Casserole.
Yeah. This has been a production of the Adam and JP family of on-demand talk radio.
AdamandJP.com.
Right now.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network, your station for all things geek, classic, current, and beyond. Be part of the crew at ESONetwork.com.